Hi, Alethea here. I'm going to give you my presentation on Learning Plan 2, the new CIO. Hopefully this goes well because it doesn't start out really well. So this is a case study that illustrates the complexities of implementing project management when executives do not lead the way. So my introduction, Ralph Williams, he's the president and CEO of Rose Industries, been with the company for 45 years, started in the mailroom, worked his way up. He decides he needs to hire a new CIO, John Green, to help guide the company to a new project management strategy. This is not something that they typically do. They don't hire outside. They promote within. Sorry. John creates a 4-step approach to implement the change. All executives question and reject his ideas. John realizes he has to change a company that doesn't want to be changed. Ultimately quits after only 2 weeks of the plan presentation. This is just a kind of high-level introduction. We're going to go through some questions, have a little bit more of an open discussion on everything here. So question 1. Why is it so difficult for Rose Industries to implement project management prior to John Green coming on board? So all the executives are 30-plus year veterans. They've been with the company at least that long, and this is how the company is always run. I put in quotes, a company is run just fine without project management, so why change it now? And that's the approach that they've been using. Rose Industries discourages employees from learning anything outside of its walls. It does have available training, but it's all in-house, and it only helps people learn skills through their current jobs or to be promoted. And the downside of that is you're not learning any trending skills or what the skills of your competitors are using, so you're not able to stay above them or stay in line with them. So question 2. Can inbreeding be detrimental to project management maturity? So first I needed to look up what inbreeding was in terms of a corporate structure. Because everybody knows what inbreeding is, and it didn't really make sense to me when I first saw it in this case study. So, but looking at it, the basic definition I can give you is promoting from within, which makes sense now that you really look it up. So the question is, can inbreeding be detrimental to a project management maturity? Well, yes. Rose Industries doesn't have a project management approach, and it seems like they really don't want one. So most projects are tackled by the departments, and the inbreeding uses the same methods that are always used. So, whenever you do a project, you have multiple departments that are going to handle the project and take on the project. However, usually have a project manager over it to oversee everything to make sure each department is doing their job. Well, if you don't have the project manager, you don't know if the tasks are being completed as they're supposed to be completed. All you know is, yep, they're done, check off, go to the next person, but you don't know if they're at par and at standard for what it needs to be. So question 3. Looking at Rose's current level of project management maturity, which is not much, how long might it take them to see some reasonable project management maturity, assuming Green was not there? So after Green's presentation, the executives will see that there is a change needed, but may only go as far as they have already gone. So I kind of thought of it as they go in to test the water, but they just barely put a toe in, and that's it. That's as far as they've gotten. And now that they've seen Green's presentation, maybe they'll put a whole foot in, maybe just all the toes. I mean, they seem to be pretty content on where they are. Maybe they'll just get a new commercially available methodology, and maybe they don't want to win as many bids as they have. Maybe they're comfortable winning and getting the bids that they have, and they don't want extra. I don't know. Question 4, is it possible for an executive, or anyone else for that matter, to determine the true challenges of a job at hand during the hiring interviews? No. I mean, no. An executive can give you, or a hiring manager can say, these are the issues that we need to tackle. These are the issues that you are being hired to tackle. However, hiring managers are not going to give you full disclosure because they don't want to scare you off. Regardless of your resume and what you've done, how you've helped companies, how you've strived, all the successes that you've had. No one really wants to go into a company and see all these really scary obstacles that they're probably not going to be able to tackle. You want to know that if you see this obstacle, you're going to be able to complete it. Even if it's hard or challenging, you can do it. And if it's really hard, you want to know that you have the support. So, in short, no, a hiring manager can explain high-level issues and hope to convey this to the candidate. And then you can never know 100% whether you're walking into any position or company. Even if the hiring manager gives you full disclosure, you still really don't know. Question 5. What questions, if any, should be asked? So I kind of took this as the interviewee for the new CIO position. What are all the executives' leading styles? How do they manage their people? How do they do day-to-day work? Are their workers happy? Why is the company deciding to change directions now? You've been successful doing what you're doing now. Why change? What's the purpose? What is your goals, your objectives, your strategy look like? What can I do as the new CIO to change the direction of the company? What do you hope that I have and I'm bringing to the table? Will I really have any effect on this company with 30-plus year veterans? Regardless of my tenure, of my resume and my successes, I'm a brand new person and everybody here has been here for 30 years. Will any of these 30-year veterans want to change? Why do they want this? Is it just you as the hiring manager that want this? Do all these other executives want this? Do I get to meet them before I make my decision if you want to hire me? How many other people will be on my team to lead the change? Am I doing the solely? Or am I going to have someone else? Now, if I do have a team, do they want this change? Are they motivated, or are they just doing it because they're being told? What kind of time frame do you have for this change? What kind of results do you want to see? What do you expect to see? What if the results are not to your expectations? What if everything is negative? What if you don't like my approach? I mean, I could go on and on. Question 6. How does one know during the job interview process if the promises made for support will be kept? I mean, you really don't. You don't know that anything that is said to you in a job interview is really what's going to happen. I noted if a contract is written, agreed upon, and signed by all parties, you have a better chance, but you still don't know. Most of the time, the paperwork that you sign when you are new is, this is how much money I'm going to make, these are the benefits I'm going to get, this is how much PTO I have, the days off that I get, these are the expectations that you have, but it's not going to give you every single thing. One suggestion, though, would be to meet with all parties you'll be working with prior to the start, or prior to accepting the position. So you'd want to meet with not just the hiring manager, the person that will be your boss. You want to meet with all the other executives that you're going to be working closely with to understand what their expectations are, if they're excited about you coming on board, if they really hate the idea of you or the new position being created. I mean, you don't want to work for someone that you don't like, or you don't click with, or just kind of understand each other. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. Number 7, was Green correct in his 4 components of a good project management culture? I'm going to say yes. He was correct. However, I think that being that simple, or that small amount of steps, may have been a little bit of the downfall. I think there was too much change too quickly for this aging company. So he only had 4 steps. I have notes over here too, sorry. To hire several PMPs quickly, create 2 PMOs, an IT PMO and a regular PMO, and then step 3 and 4 would be IT PMO would create a systems development methodology, and for a corporate PMO would create an enterprise project methodology. So they're all very good steps, and they're high-level steps, and perhaps he made high-level steps because he was presenting to high-level executives, but because they're veterans and this is a brand new thing for all of them, I think that he should have broken them up. Maybe have high-level step 1, hire several PMs quickly, and then outline, I would like one the next month, I would like another one 2 months after that, I'd like the third one 3 months after that. These are the reasons why, this is what I want them to help with, and maybe explain it. And maybe we just don't know because the case study doesn't show us all of that, but maybe having multiple steps within these high-level steps would have been a little more beneficial. And I also kind of noted perhaps hiring, instead of several PMs quickly, maybe within the next 6 months I'd like to hire 4. I mean, it's hard because the case study doesn't give us a little more specifics, but that's kind of what I think he should have done had he not. Question number 8, was Green too optimistic with his 4-step approach? So I answered yes and no to this. So first, no, I don't think he was too optimistic. Green knew this was the best way to change his company, and he had the means to do so with the support of the executives. See, the problem is, I don't think that many of the executives wanted the CIO. I think that the CEO wanted the CIO, but maybe didn't have the support of the rest of the executives. So then I also said, yes, he was too optimistic. These aging executives were not ready to run before they could stand. So looking at our textbook, Kersner says long-term strategic objectives may be broken down into short-term objectives to simplify execution using tools like the WBS to assist. So this is kind of what I said with breaking down each high-level step. So making these 4 steps, high-level steps. So step 1 is hire several PMs quickly. A would be, hire 6 within the first 6 months. Within the first 1.5 years, they need to have this kind of training. Just breaking it down a little more probably would have gone off a little better. Question 9. Why were the other executives threatened by his 4-step approach? Because it took away power, authority, and bonuses. I kind of felt like bonuses are a big thing for people. Like, they do a really great job, so they get this extra money, and it's really, really nice to say, hey, good job, here's extra cash. And when you don't have those bonuses, then it kind of makes you feel like you're not doing as good of a job. Plus, taking your power and authority away really kind of hits home. It makes you think, why am I still working here? And they were threatened because this would change how they've been doing business from the start. Well, I've been doing it like this, and I've been in this job for 3 years, so why would I change now? It's worked out really great for me so far. And I kind of felt like they have this mindset of, why change something that isn't broken? But what they don't understand is that even if it's not broken per se, it's going to be broken soon, so let's take the step now to get it ready and have the fix before it is broken. Question 10. If Green had decided to remain with Rose Industries, how might he change his 4-step approach given the responses by the other executives? So this one, I just took his high-level 4-step approach, and I kind of changed the wording a little bit to kind of assist them and understand and maybe absorb his plan a little better. So I put step 1 would be train people in the labor pool. So maybe he needs to talk to the high-level executives, talk to the managers below them, supervisors of the people, and say, okay, these are the qualities I need in a project manager. Who among your people have this? And then maybe interview these people and decide if they really have those skills and techniques that can be developed into a project manager. Step 2, start with 1 PMO doing IT and non-IT projects. So not having a PM office at all and then going to 2 right away is a giant change, especially when you want to hire people outside. So having these people within, maybe hiring a consulting firm to help with the training, or hire a training firm that is approved by Rose Industries, maybe would have helped them take this on a little better. And then they could implement 1 PMO and then have them start it, and as things progress and as the executives see that things are going better, then split them off and have the IT PMO and then just the regular PMO. Step 3, start with using a commercial package for the IT side of a methodology. So even though it's not great, Green would probably know people that have a methodology that they could package and allow Rose Industries to purchase. And with these new project managers that Green is going to train, or have the consultants train, then they can take this methodology and then tailor it to their own. And then as the project managers become better at their job, realize, no, maybe we should make our own. And step 4 goes along with step 3, is use a commercial package for the non-IT side. So it could be the same package, it could be different packages. It really kind of depends on what works better for the company. I also found from our textbook, again from Kersner, strategic planning requires the understanding of the firm and its environment. So finding a commercially packaged plan or methodology, generally it would work, but it's like buying a one-size-fits-all t-shirt. You know that's not going to happen because not everybody is one size. Or it's like having a bunch of compact car parking spots at the mall when everybody drives these giant trucks. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And you're not going to be able to fit into one spot, you're going to fit into two. Same with a one-size-fits-all. My husband is too big for them and I am way too small. So it just doesn't work. So you have to tailor it to the company. You can get a general package and then you have to adjust it to fit. Like I would wear a belt around one of those one-size-fits-all shirts just so it wouldn't look weird. A dress, hey. So question 11, was Green correct in resigning from the company? So I said yes. It seems he was interviewed under false pretenses. So I don't think that the hiring manager really explained to him the full issues of the company, what he was trying to accomplish, and he kind of hoped for a miracle when I don't really think that there was one. I really feel like Green probably didn't know all the issues and obstacles until he was hired, until he started interviewing all the executives and all the people and finding out where the issues were before he created his plan. And then he didn't have any support to do his job. The only person who wanted this change, I really gather, is the CEO. And all the executives said, no, we don't need it, but we'll put up with it because you're our boss. And I really do agree that you don't want to add a place like this to your resume showing, I worked for this place for 2 months and they hired me to do this and I couldn't do it, so it's going to make you look bad. Yeah, that's not good. So question 12, what is your prognosis on Rose's chances to remain in business? So I really see that Rose can remain in business for a good long while. And by that I probably mean, at least 20 to 25 years. Only because they probably have a lot of loyal customers, and those customers like the way they do things, or like the customer service, or like the product, or whatever it is, and will stay with them rather than go with a competitor. Even if their methodologies and strategies are old, they still like how they work and they depend upon how they work. And I also put inbreeding employees seems to be key to their success, and a new younger CEO will probably take power within the next 10 years. So this current CEO eventually will retire, because then in 10 years it'll be 55 years and he's probably at retirement age anyway. And then a new CEO, which will probably still be someone who is a veteran, will take over. But maybe they will have a grandson that is in college, says, hey, I don't know what you're doing, but these don't really work for this company, and with the competition out there, you're not going to survive. I mean, that's fingers crossed, right? So, in conclusion, I kind of said there are many companies just like this, and some of them are examples like Mervyn's. Mervyn's isn't around anymore. They had a lot of old ideals. Blockbuster. I mean, I didn't know this at the time, but I found out recently that the creator of Netflix went to Blockbuster and tried to sell their idea. Blockbuster said that would never work. And now Netflix is the number one, not the number one, but one of the best companies where you can get shows and movies on demand, and Blockbuster is gone. I mean, the closest Blockbuster to my house is now a taco stand. So, Kmart's. There's been a Kmart, I think like 2 or 3 in the city and surrounding cities. And the one that's in the heart of the city is now finally going out of business. I've been kind of watching and waiting for it to do that. And finally, now they're going out of business. So probably after Christmas, they're going to be gone. So these are companies like this that don't want to change, that don't see that their strategy and their methodology is bad and is doing bad things for them. So I said Green is kind of like fresh meat. And he gets eaten alive, and he can't survive with his new ideas. They're just too new for these people. And then you can't implement change as one person. You need support. You need a team. So you need support anyway. You have support at home for what you do at home, to support you to go out there and find the job, to go to school, to have ideas, to change things. And you also need a team to help you to do these changes and to strive for better. So that is the conclusion and the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.